Number 1. A little backstory. I'm a 20-year-old, short, petite female working at Subway. And I can't help but be nice to anyone, even if they creep me out. About a year ago, we had this guy, 35 to 40 years old, who would come in every day for lunch. He was fascinated by my stretched ears and few piercings I had on my face, and always asked questions. He would sit down after I rang him out and watched me from his table for 2 hours non-stop, just staring at me while I helped other customers. This goes on for about 2 weeks. Every day he would ask for my number, saying he has plugs and tunnels that he wants to give me, and see me wearing them in my ears, and I always politely declined. One day, I'm alone in the store because my manager had to run to the bank. We were really slow that day, so I was just in the back room messing around on my phone. I heard the door chime, looked up, and yet no one was there. Then I saw the man walk past the front of the store really quickly, like he was in a hurry. The store phone rings. "Thanks for calling Subway, how can I help you?" "This is the girl with the nice ears, right?" Yes? Who is this?" "Are you alone in the back room right now? Are you working by yourself?" At this point, I really got creeped out and knew it was him. I hung up and texted my manager the situation so she would hurry back. He called again, this time asking me very weird questions, like what would I do with him in a room with the door locked, if I had a boyfriend, why was I playing hard to get, etc. My manager gets back and I tell her everything. In the middle of the lunch rush, he calls again. This time my manager answers, and to this day she never told me what he said, but the look on her face made my spine shiver. She told him if he called again, or showed up here, she would call the police. I thought that was the end of it, but alas, I was wrong. 1 week later, I'm clocking out and getting ready to walk to my car parked in the front, when I look outside. I see him standing by my car and looking inside of it. I was an idiot and left the back door unlocked. I watched him crawl inside and shut the door. The creep was trying to hide in my fucking back seat and do God knows what to me when I got in. My manager locked the front door of our store and called the police. When they arrived, they had to pretty much drag him out of my car, and he was arrested. On him was a butcher knife, rope, and a rag with chloroform on it. If I hadn't looked up when I did, I would probably be dead right now. So, Subway Stalker, let's not ever meet again. Number 2. Okay, so this is my third post, I think, and this memory has actually just resurfaced due to a conversation with my dad. A little background. I was about 10 at the time, and my brother and I were taking swimming lessons at a public pool about 10 minutes away from our house. We would go for our lessons every Friday evening, and usually afterward we would just chill in the spa pool till Dad was ready. On this particular Friday evening, my brother and I were in the spa pool doing kid stuff and whatnot, when I noticed a man sitting directly across the spa from me, just kinda staring at me. The spa is about 12 meters in length. The man was tall and thin. He had a very pointy nose and button-like eyes. He had very short, thin grey hair, and his skin was unusually red. I didn't think much of it at the time, as I'd seen this man around the pool before, and I think my dad may have even had a conversation with him at some point. But he continued to stare. and it made me so uncomfortable that I had to get out of the spa and sat outside waiting for my dad. I started seeing him everywhere. Wherever I was, he was. Grocery stores, malls, outside of my school, and always at my Friday night swimming lesson. I never told my dad about seeing him everywhere. I thought maybe I was overreacting, and I was very naive to the obvious stranger danger. I thought maybe I was overreacting, and I was very naive to the obvious danger. I remember one instance where I was at a department store with my mum, and I saw him down the end of every aisle we went down and said nothing. Red flags started to go off when he decided to carry a camera around with him. He would always be in a completely black outfit, with his camera bag around his neck, just watching me. One day, I was at the mall with a few friends, when one of them pointed him out before I had even noticed him. I told them about the man and the way they looked at me, and my friend's older sister advised me to tell security so that he would be removed. As soon as he saw them coming, he got up and left. Flash forward about 2 years or so, and haven't seen my stalker friend for so long now, he's becoming a distant memory. Until I get called into the school office because my uncle was here to collect me early. As soon as I saw him there, arms open in my fucking school office waiting for me, I felt sick. I had forgotten about this man, and 2 years later he has the nerve to come and try to get me out of school. And he had his camera. I marched right up past him to the office woman and simply said, "That man is not my uncle," and walked back to class. At lunches he was outside my school. He would wave and try to get me to come over, or he would hold up a chocolate bar as some kind of child bait. So his random school appearances continue to the point my school needs to contact my parents and let them know the situation. My dad was distraught, having actually spoken to this man before, and demanded that the police be contacted so we could get a restraining order or something. That's when we found out the man was a convicted sex offender. The police took his camera and found hundreds of photos of me, some of which were zoomed up into my bedroom windows at my house. We got a restraining order, and thankfully, I haven't seen him since. So, let's not meet. Number 3. I'm a 28-year-old male living in the deep south. I am, now, a functional, medicated and therapy-attending paranoid schizophrenic. However, I wasn't always this way, and this story comes from a time before I ever even knew that I was wrong. It was about April 2007 when this happened. I had just come out of a painful divorce, and she had taken all of my friends away from me in the process. I was obviously trying to reach out to anyone I could, but I had severe codependency issues that I didn't know how to address. Anyway, I found myself wandering the games section of my local Walmart, as I am still a gamer at heart and had to see what was available. Things were going alright, and I seemed to be in control of myself. Then he appeared. This poor, unsuspecting soul started talking to me about World of Warcraft, which I happened to play. I perked up at this point, thinking I could make a friend. A new friend that hadn't been taken from me. We made casual jokes and talked about the new expansion. I can't remember if it had just come out or if it was soon to come out. At this point, his mother, he was probably about 18 to 20, judging by his appearance, came by and took him to another aisle. He didn't say goodbye, just walked off. And like that, our conversation was through. Well, in my mind, we had made a connection. We had bonded, and my sick, twisted state, I thought he would appreciate it if we hung out for a while. So I followed him. I made a point to casually stroll down the aisles that he happened to visit and strike up conversations with him about different things, jokes, I can't remember. I could tell he was getting creeped out by the third time I had done this. He started getting this deer in the headlights look every time he saw me, and it was starting to become a horror story. Though, in my eyes, it was perfectly natural. At some point, however, his fight or flight must have kicked in, because when I appeared, as soon as I opened my mouth to speak, he screamed, "Leave me alone!" and stormed off, dragging his mother as quickly as he possibly could. This was a wake-up call for me, that I was being severely creepy, and also a stalker. I realised that this could very well be the behaviour that caused my divorce in the first place. I checked myself into a mental institution soon after and got the help I needed. I am now significantly better, and my relationships with people have improved greatly. I now have good friends and a loving fiancé. Not all creepers mean to be creepy. Some of us just need the proper psychiatric help. On behalf of all the unknowing and good-intentioned creepers out there, I humbly, sincerely apologise for our behaviour. It doesn't make it forgivable, but I hope it does give some context as to what goes on in the mind of a creeper. Thank you for your time. Well guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.